World War II being one of the biggest wars ever with a total of 37 million casualties over the course of 4 years, changed the course of history forever. The four main causes to World War II was the Great Depression, appeasement, League of Nations failing, Hitler's offensive, and the Treaty of Versailles. While the Great Depression was happening, the war almost seemed as if it was an opportunity appeasement was granting to maintain peace and stabilize Europe.
When the League of Nations failed, it was because of no military power to enforce trading routes. It also allowed Hitler and Mussolini to get away with the rise of power. Germany was blamed for World War II and forced to pay reparations, which ties into a cause of World War II, because Germany wanted revenge on those who punished them. A last key point is that Hitler built his military strong and made a pact with Mussolini, then annexed Austria. Hitler came to so much power by propaganda and the use of media around him.
At 4:45 a.m. on September 1, 1939, the German battleship named Schleswig-Holstein opened fire on Westerplatte Fort, which is located in modern-day Gdansk. This was the very first military engagement in World War II. It is said that 62 German divisions and 1,300 aircrafts invaded Poland that day. Hitler's only fear was that the invasion of Poland would result in Stalin being alarmed and would trigger a war with the Soviet Union.
The Blitzkrieg happened in 1940. A Blitzkrieg is a lightning war. Hitler wanted to isolate the iron resources of Sweden and secure his northern flank. He took early actions by invading Norway and Denmark on April 9th. A month later, Germans released their Blitzkrieg against the Netherlands and Belgium. This attack sent defending troops reeling. British and French attempts to rescue were caught in the headlong retreat and then pushed back. Meanwhile, German dive bombers filled the sky. The invasion in England forced the Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain, to resign and was replaced by Winston Churchill. In order to take over, Germany advanced through the Ardennes Forest. Pearl Harbor happened in 1941. Much of the cause of the bombing of Pearl Harbor had been from an embargo the U.S. placed on things in which the Japanese needed, such as scrap iron and aviation fuel. Although given warnings about the upcoming and future attacks, it was disregarded. After the tragic event, the U.S. Congress then declared war on Japan, which marked the United States' entrance into World War II. As a result of Germany and Italy's alliance with Japan, they then also declared war on the U.S. 4 days later. Luckily, Japan had little planning. For example, attacks on oil reserves could have caused much greater damages. However, this gave America the chance to rebuild its fleet and re-enter the fight with a brand new military strategies.
In 1941, Hitler and the Germans invaded the Soviet Union. Hitler ordered Germany to destroy anything Russia could use as a possibility to defeat them. 1944 ended up being Hitler's greatest military setback. Russia became victorious when the Soviet soldiers surrendered to them. A Soviet commander explained he mostly wanted revenge on the Germans, and that's how they won against Hitler and his army. The Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, causing one of the most memorable and horrible massacres to ever happen. This was otherwise known as the Allied invasion of Germany occupying France. The Nazis stuffed artillery down on troops who were coming into the sea to the beaches of Normandy. The British did not like the idea of a direct assault and rather preferred an indirect strategy. This invasion was by far the deadliest wars, killing 40,000 people on just the first day alone. This led to a successful start to the Allies' invasion of Northwest Europe.
On August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on the city of Hiroshima. Over 100,000 deaths were reported due to this bombing. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, another American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb, but this time in Nagasaki. Over 40,000 deaths were reported due to this bombing. Those who survived had extreme radiation. They were hideously burnt, they were coughing and urinating blood, they had their hair falling out, and they were just literally waiting to die. Japanese historians now know that in the summer of 1945, the plan was that Japan would not surrender. It's said that the amount of deaths at Hiroshima and Nagasaki would have nothing compared to the deaths if there had been a true invasion.